and I like to go travel place to place. So I don't have time to go place all the I don't have time to stay home. My John travel a lot, and I can't, I don't want a relationship, you know, and he not ready for commitment and marry and stuff like that. And he say, you need to move on and do what you have to do your life, and and hope, and forget about him.
Well, that's what he was trying to tell you, but he claimed that he's looking for an apartment, which wasn't true. That was, like I said, it was just a ruse, you know? A ruse is something that's like a pretext, it's false.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't really true, but I guess you don't listen to people. People give you advice and you don't pay attention, you know? You go with your heart or your mind, whatever it is.
And I told my grandma about
Uh,
it.
he
My
texted you,
grandma
he
little
called you. He texted
he
you.
passed me. Yeah.
Oh,
And
you so it
it's
was a
it's
text, and in the text he said that he doesn't want to see you anymore. That's what he said.
yeah, yeah. And I had no idea. And this morning I had no idea, and I wake up and I try to go in my Facebook, and I thought maybe he's still there, or maybe I just want to see he's still there. I went to Facebook. He took me off in Facebook too.
Oh, he removed you from Facebook.
Yeah, he took me off Facebook. I did not took him off Facebook. He took me off.
What do you mean he took you off? You don't have access to his Facebook, or he took your pictures off, or what?
No, he took me off as his friend list. I can't, on his page.
But
He blocked.
you can still see his Facebook account.
No, I don't. Quiet.
Huh?
I cannot go to his Facebook, but I see his private. He does, and he posting.
Oh,
I can
because
see.
I was a bit confused there when you say he took you off Facebook. You know, you mean he blocked you? That's what it is.
Yeah,
He
he
blocked
took
you.
me off. Yeah, he took
He
me off.
blocked you.
Yeah.
Take you off Facebook. I thought you meant that he had pictures of you and then he removed them, but you can still see. So
No, not Peter. He took me off his list Facebook.
well, basically that's called a block. A block, like when you block somebody and you can't access the site, and you
Yeah,
see, you see like a white thing image, you can't get in there anymore.
he blocked me like that.
So he blocked you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think what precipitated that is when you called him and you told him you may be going down to New York uh, for New Year's and you don't want to be alone, and basically he doesn't give a shit. So, you know, like I said, he's not like your ex guy, Matt. When you said you were coming to New York, this was 2008, and you said you were coming and you visit me. Then Matt, he was supposed to work with his father. He dropped everything. He came down with you. See, Matt was different. Matt, that kind of psychology can work in him. You tell him you're coming to New York, so he said, "Oh, I don't want this girl go down there and then she have sex with this guy, so let me go with her." But this other guy doesn't care. This other guy knows a lot of women. He doesn't give a damn, whether you go to New York or not. So the fact that you told him you're going to New York, which I guess was to try to like it was like a psychological thing. It was trying to say, "Oh, well, I'm going to make you jealous. So let's see if you really want me or not." But he doesn't give a shit. So he said, "Go ahead, enjoy yourself." You see. Now, if you didn't call him and tell him you're going to New York, chances are he probably won't block you. You know, chances are. But and you said, by the way, that you were not going to do that. You said you were going to come to New York and you were not going to tell him anything, which was the smart thing to do. But you went back on your word and you decided to be bold and brave and go tell him. So because you tell him, that's it. He doesn't want to. You gave him an excuse then. Yeah. Before he didn't have an excuse. He was looking for one. He was trying to say, I'm looking for an apartment to bring you down. He was looking for all kinds of excuses, like the place is too small where he lives. He's looking for an apartment. But once you gave him that excuse that you going to New York for, or you want to go to New York for, um, you know, the first of the year for New Year's Eve, he was just waiting for an excuse, So
Yeah.
you gave him one, and I warned you, but the thing about you is that you don't listen to anybody, You don't listen to people at all. People give you advice, people who are trained, people who know from experience in human nature or psychology, but you don't listen, you don't really give a fuck. I mean, you just do what you want. And I told you, do not do it. Do not tell the guy something like that. If you come into New York, just come. Don't tell the guy because this guy's just looking for an excuse. Okay? And as soon as you tell him that, that's it. He sends you a text telling you, he travels and let's break it up, and he doesn't want a relationship, and he just blocks you, and that's it. So that's the end of it. So you don't take people's advice. That's one thing. Most times people have to pay for advice. Like they go see a lawyer, they pay maybe a few $100s an hour. They go to a psychotherapist, they pay money. They go to a romance advisor, they pay money, so forth. Here you are getting advice and you don't take it. Like the Brazilian man, I told you, you know him a long time. Why don't you come down to New York and meet him? Since he was coming to New York, and then he was going to go up to Maine with you. He said he wants to marry you, right? He wants to marry you. Um, you just happen to meet this other guy, like I don't know, maybe 2, 3 weeks. You met the guy online, and you did the worst thing. You dumped the guy that you knew over 2 years for this guy you barely even know. And I warned you. I said, do not do that. You know, at least come down, meet the man in person. Meet the man in person. You said the man came with birthday cake, everything like that for your birthday. You know, and then this other guy that you met, he gave you an ultimatum. He said, either you choose him or me. That's what he said. So he gave you a choice. So you were foolish enough to assume that he really meant what he was saying by saying choose him or choose the Brazilian man. And you believe that. You believe because somebody says something, they really mean it. That's not true. That's not how the world works. because
And
because
and
somebody tells you something. Well,
and he told me that when I told him that I'm gonna go and no, actually, you know what? We fighting. I did not tell him that I go to New York. I did not mention to. I never mentioned about to. I did not say that. I just keep it quiet. And I told him that, and he said that he have to go to work at the PP close to New
listen,
Jersey.
listen. Wait a minute. Let's back up. Cut the bullshit out already. A couple of days ago, you told me that he said, right? You called him and you told him that you're going to New York
No,
because you'll be lonely up in Maine. The first of
let
the
me tell you
years.
what. I'm
The
not. I do told him that
let
in
me
the
speak,
end, but
let me
will
speak, and then you
if
can speak.
I say if he don't piss me off, I will not tell him that I'll go in New York.
Listen. then let me speak and then you speak. This is what you told him. You said that you're going to be alone in Maine. You know, there's nothing to do. You don't want to start off the new year like that. And you're going to go down to New York, you know, to have a good time. And he told you, go ahead. You know, he said, go ahead. You know, if you want to do that, you go ahead. Right? Now you're trying to tell me that you never told him you were going to New York.
No,
What?
if you don't get me mad, I will not tell him about that. But when we argue, it's different. I get upset before that already. We argue, not just going to New York. He got upset me. This is what really, listen, this is really help. Me and him, we got fight. Not fight, but okay. When
I'm
he
not
come,
sure. I'm not sure what purpose you're trying to change it. You told the man that you're going to New York, and the man told you you
no,
could go ahead. And you and I
I
had
did
the
tell
discussion.
him that.
You
When
and I
you're not
had the
listening to me.
discussion, and I brought up your ex, the guy you were living with before, and I said this guy is different from Matt. I said, when you told Matt, this was 2008, you were going to come down to New York, he was supposed to work with his father and do things like that.
I know,
He,
but you're not listening to me.
he,
What is that?
he just dropped everything and he came with you because he's different, jealousy can work on him, right?
No,
There's
he's
some
not
men.
jealous.
What?
We really wake up before I say I'll go in New York.
I'm
Just
not
he said,
talking
go
about,
ahead.
I'm not talking
Yeah,
about the
I'm
guy
going.
from Baltimore. I'm
This
talking
is what
about you.
happened.
I'm
You're
talking.
not listening to me. What
You're
we
not
we
listening to me. I'm talking about the guy Matt that you used to live with before. When
okay
you told
then
him,
don't talk about Matt.
when
I'm
you
talking
told
about
him you were coming
husband.
to New York, he dropped everything and came with you because see, he was jealous that you were gonna come down here. Okay, so
Yeah,
him,
because
him,
he
yeah,
never
jealousy works
cared
with him.
about
He
me.
got jealous, but
He
this guy from Baltimore, jealousy does not work with him. He doesn't give a shit.
doesn't care because he knows that. This is exactly what happened. And when he working, and I say, honey, how's work everything? He say, good. Tired. I had long day. I say, okay, and then get some rest, and I'll talk to you when you get home. They say, sure. So he get home, and I call him about like 7 something. He get no 7:30, and so I call him on WhatsApp. I say, how was your day? Everything tired? So he go, yeah, I'm tired and stuff like that, So I know. And I say, I have to go away for a while. I say, what do you have to go? I said, what? What? I thought you just come home for PPP for a while, and why do you have to go again? So he told me that my boss want me to go PPP for 1 month. I say, shit. No, I say like that, why they pick you to go PPP? You just got back for 3 days and 1 day ago, and they ask you to go over there again. They say, you don't understand. It's about my work. You know how my work is. So they want me to go wherever I have to go. I say, how long you going to go PPP? I say, a month and a half. And I say, who are you gonna go with? Is any company to go with you, like your co-worker to go? Why they just pick in the middle, only you to go there? So yeah, they just pick me, and and they pick me to go there. So and I said, then when you gonna go? I said tomorrow morning. I have to leave here, um, 5 o'clock in the morning. I said okay, I can't talk too long, and I have to go pack my stuff, eat and pack, and I go sleep. I said, okay, then. And then after that, I said, okay, then and I call and I said, I say your blanket's not here for you, your gift's not here for me yet. Zico is here tomorrow, be here tomorrow. I said, okay, now I'm waiting. So when the blanket come here, he ordered me a Christmas gift blanket. So my blanket's here. I told him that blanket's here, and I say my grandma had a difficult car breakdown and engine is getting bad. I don't think that guy know how to fix the car, and maybe my grandma have to get new car. But my grandma have money and she have family close by. She don't have to worry. And she go, oh, that's good. So and I mentioned a little bit about my car. Say I have to do a lot of stuff with my car too. And I said, go, I know, man, it sucks to go like that. So Um, and I say I can't wait to come live with you. Do you start? I just saying that. Do you mention that? Do you say do you have any time to looking for? What you think about those house that you went to? Say you went for looking for one is, and after that you go. I don't think I have time to looking for the house right now. I don't have time, and I don't have time. I have a lot of stuff going on right now, and and I don't think I have.
Listen, that's a long story. That got nothing to do with what we're talking about. I mean, I've been listening to you, and I'm trying to be patient, but I'm losing my patience. Sorry. What the point we get into is that you called a man and you told him that you were going to go down to New York, right?
No, I did not call him that time. I did not tell him that, and he told me that, and he got mad. And he keeps saying that I don't have time. I don't think it's a good idea for you. I'm not ready. I don't think you should move down.
Listen, we
Uh,
having
I'm not ready,
we
and I'm
having
too
two different
busy.
conversations. You're talking about
That's the time I get anger. So go.
you're,
I'm
you're
not
talking
ready.
about he's telling you he's not
Um,
ready. That's not. I'm not interested in that conversation.
and he
Okay, we
said
know
no.
that he's not ready. We already spoke about
Um,
that. The only
and
conversation
he
I'm interested
said
in
and
is the
everything
one
like that.
where you
And
called
I did
him.
talk to him,
You
okay?
told
I did
him
not talk to
that
him, and I
that you
was
don't want
so,
to be in Maine alone by yourself for the new
and
year, and that
I
you're going to go
was
down
so
to New
that
York City to celebrate the new year, okay, to ring in
I would,
2020.
um,
And he told
I'm
you,
not,
go ahead. He said, have fun. That's what he told you. Now you
yeah,
bullshitting and
I
telling me,
don't,
no,
he got,
you didn't call him and you didn't tell
I
him,
got
you
him,
know.
and, and I got mad at him. I got mad at him because what he said to me, I'm not ready, and I'm busy, I'm not ready, my
Well,
job, it's like,
listen, you having an entirely different conversation. You already told me that. He said he's not ready. He's looking for an apartment. He has no place. He has to work. We already know that. I don't want to hear about that anymore. I'm not
after that,
interested.
he
I'm
told
not.
me,
I am
and
not
after
interested. I
he
am
told
not
me,
interested in that
um,
conversation
and
anymore. We already know
now,
that. The
now you're not
conversation
listening.
I'm interested in is where you told him that you're going down to New York
No,
because
I
you
don't
don't want
want
to
to
be
be going
alone
to
in Maine by yourself for
that.
the new year.
When
Now you deny that you had a conversation like that.
when
Okay. When you
I
said,
really don't want to tell him that I'm going
this is
to New
why
York.
somebody like you, we
Think
have
you know,
to,
I'm going
we
to
have to record your conversations because you lie so much, You lie so much, and then I have to
I'm
present you
going
with what you
to New York
said
City
from
if
the
you don't
past.
piss me off. Okay? If you don't piss me off, say that um I I'm not ready and stuff like that. If you don't say that to me, I would not tell him I'm going to New York City. I was thinking I'm going to fucking Maryland instead. I'm going to New York City. Okay, I was thinking, babe, what are you gonna do in New York City instead? Maybe I should come to Maryland in New Year. And she go, no, and she pissed me off, said he not ready. That's the time I say, fine, that if you're not ready with me, that I go to New York City and I haven't seen my friend for a while. And she go then, go see your Orlando, go be with your friend, go fuck them. And I said, and he had up on me. That's the time I get pissed. And he got pissed. And we don't talk for a whole night. And the next day I text him, he does not
Well,
answer.
that was stupid. You told him that you're coming to New York. Okay, so you made this whole story about him telling you that that he's working and this and that, and he doesn't have time to get an apartment. And then in the end, you tell him you're gonna go to New York City, and he said, "Go ahead, go fuck your friend in New York City or what have you." Right? Yeah, most men probably will say that. They don't, especially guys who don't give a shit about you.
And and
They
and
will say,
and,
"Go ahead, I don't care what you do in New York City."
and,
You know,
and he got
but
mad.
to me, that was stupid for you to say that because the fact that you say that, you just gave him what you call an escape hatch. He was looking for a way out. Okay, and he couldn't find one, so he was, coming up with all these rules and so forth, saying, I'm looking for a place. Because remember, he was telling you that, yeah, the only reason he's not living with you is because he's looking for a place that, like an apartment he wants to get. So that was his excuse, right? But the fact that you tell him you're gonna go down to New York and so forth, and he just proved himself, and he told you right there, and he hung up the phone on you, and now he blocked you on Facebook. You can't see it, and he told you he sent you a text, and he told you he doesn't want any relationship with you, and that's it. He's a traveling man, and doesn't start a new relationship elsewhere. Anybody could have told you that. Any other woman, who been around could tell you that, but you just don't listen. You don't pay attention. You keep going on and on. You're looking for this illusion, like somebody in a desert, and they keep seeing, the thing to see water or what have you. It's a mirage. It's not real. You keep
I
seeing
know, but
mirages in a desert. It's not.
I know, but I don't know that we he made me say stop like that, and stop like that. We just end everything, and it's just like why he in the middle that doing this kind of thing if you don't want to see me and really comfortable and stuff like that. He just can I
Yeah, but
in the
don't,
middle
but don't we tell you that the lady
and
you call
told me
grand, the lady
and
you call grand, the
why
lady you
you
call
stop saying that
grandma, I
for me,
told you that the
know?
guy is looking for, an excuse or what have you, uh, to tell you. And I said, look, if somebody really loves somebody, it really doesn't matter whether your apartment is a small or your room is as small as a shoebox. If you love that person, you're gonna find ways to be with them. That's how real love is. When you really care about somebody and love somebody, you don't give a damn. I mean, it could be like this living room here. This living room I'm sitting in here, right? It could be like a room this size. And if somebody really loves somebody, they don't care. They'll live right in this one room with them, and they may have like maybe a stove over there to cook, a bed over there to sleep, sink over there, and so forth. That's it. They don't care because they got love. And love is more important than material things. But you don't get the message, you know? At your age, 38 years old, you still don't understand men by now? Well, I don't know what to tell you.
It's
You may
not
have
that I don't
you may have to
love
go and
me
take a course
because I
on men.
thought he really do love me and want me to move down there. And I went to meet his family, so that is different. And
Well, you gave the man an excuse. I mean, you call him and tell him about it, because first of all, it's near the end of the year, right? Today's the 19th of December. We have a few more days, right, in the year. 11 more days, 12 more days. So he's not gonna find any apartment or anything like that. But let's go along with him for a moment and say he was serious, that he's looking for an apartment, okay? He's telling you, look, my boss has sent me to these different places. I don't have time to find an apartment and so forth. I don't, which would be true, really, because, he's pressed for time. It's coming near the end of the year. Nobody really looks for an apartment near the end of the year. People got other things going on to do. But you kept pressing him. You kept pressing him about living with him, and he just got fed up with you. And then to make it worse, that he got fed up with you. You pressing him to come live with him, and then you tell him, well, look, I don't want to be alone in Maine by myself. Yeah, like you never been alone in Maine at the end of the year. So you tell him, I'm gonna go to New York. I want to have myself a good time in New York. Okay. So he figured, oh, since you want to live with him and he's telling you I'm looking for an apartment and you want to go to New York, well, fine, okay, then just go down to New York then. Go be with that man or whoever, your friend or so forth. Yeah. So you gave him the perfect excuse. You gave him the perfect excuse. If my advice to a woman is never give a man a perfect excuse because you'll be sorry. Because some men have a hard time coming up, because either they have maybe a conscience or so forth. Because remember, this guy took you away from a relationship with that guy from Brazil, okay? Because of him, he happened to step in at the right time, and he gave you a choice. You know, either you go with him or the man from Brazil, and you decide, well, you know, you're gonna go with the man with him instead of the guy from Brazil. So he probably feels bad about that, and he knows that if he didn't do that, chances are you would have been dealing with the man from Brazil or be with him, or oh no, maybe be married to him by now. So that's on his conscience. So he can't get that off his conscience. So you gave him a reason to get it off his conscience and not feel guilty, you know, by saying, I'm going to go down to New York, you know, and I'm going to have a nice time. And okay, so that's what he was waiting for. And you gave him an escape hatch. So he took advantage of it. And that's it. He took advantage of it, and he blocked you on Facebook. He left you with a departing text. Don't contact him anymore, and that's it. No, so that's it. And he got he got what he wanted out of you. You know, when he took you down when he took you down to Mexico that time. You know, he got what he wanted out of you. He took you to Mexico. Yeah, and you had no choice when you were in Mexico but to do what he wanted to do, because you know what are you gonna do, you know? You couldn't run away. You're down in Mexico, you're in a completely different country. You don't know your way around, and you don't even know Spanish. At least if you know some Spanish and you can say habla usted inglés, you know, habla usted inglés. You know, at least fine. You don't know anything like that, so you were trapped in Mexico. So you had no choice but to give him what he wanted. Wow, but you don't listen. So if I were you, you should stop asking me for advice, because I'm tired of giving you advice and you don't take my advice. So please, in the future, don't even ask me for advice. No?
I'm not asking you advice, but I want you to listen.
Yeah, I'm just saying in the future, don't even ask me for advice, because you're always asking for advice.
You don't have to say
You never take advice, you know.
I don't need advice from people. I know me and him. It's not that one.
When you came on that time, this was I think this was back in June or something like that. Oh, June, yeah, I think it was June.
It's not just
June, and I told you, and you said
I jealous because it's have to do what I'm
you have a problem, and I said you always have a problem. What's your problem? And you said, well, you know, um, this guy is coming from Brazil to meet me. You said he's coming through New York, and I just met this other guy, you know, on one of those romance website, and you said to me, that's your problem. I don't know what to do. And I said, well, you know the guy from Brazil a long time. Meet him. I said the best thing to do is meet him, because you know him a long time. So why would you go meet some guy you just met on a website? You don't know anything about him. Instead of taking my advice, you never took my advice, and you asked somebody else, and they give you the same advice I gave you. I come down to New York, meet the guy, you know, see him or what have you.
I don't want to meet that guy.
He was supposed to go up to meet with you, and I believe he wanted to marry you. You could have a chance, you know, go live in a different country, Brazil, learn Portuguese.
No, it's not like that. It's not. I don't like the Brazil guy neither.
You don't like the Brazil guy because, you know, there's like a kid's story, the fox with the grapes. When he tries to jump up to eat the grapes and he couldn't reach the grapes, he said, you know what? The reason I cannot reach those grapes is because they're sour. That's why. If those grapes were tasty, I would be able to reach them. So that's what we call sour grapes. Now you're saying you don't like the Brazil guy. The Brazil guy way better. The Brazil guy, at least he had a cake for your birthday, okay? And he came all the way to New York. And it ain't that easy coming to America, for a foreigner to go through visa and all this stuff to get here. It ain't that easy. For somebody coming from a different country, especially South America, to come
No,
here.
the guy, and he not playing.
That nonsense to go through immigration and so forth, which is it's much easier for the guy from Baltimore to meet you because all he has to do is drive up or fly up to meet you. So, that's very, very different than a man going through all the trouble to maybe go to the U.S. Embassy or the U.S. Consulate, maybe get a visa to come here and so forth, staying in a hotel in New York. Hotels in New York are expensive. This guy went through all this stuff. You know him 2 years, and you treat him like shit. He comes here, and as a man, I mean, that never happened to me, but as a man, I sure wouldn't like that to happen to me if I were going to meet a woman, and then she doesn't show up, and it's another man instead of me. And then her reason is, well, he's American, and he's here, he's from this country, same culture, more in
I
common
don't know.
crossing my
Are you
eyes. So I
not
go,
talking about him? Please don't talk about Orlando, please. You don't know about Orlando between me and Orlando neither. Orlando had a nephew in Massachusetts too. He come over visit her sister too, not just me. So he not alone.
that's not the point. Whether he has family in Massachusetts or not, that's not the point. He came
I
to New
have
York, and you were supposed to meet him in New York. You told me because you were asking me for directions, and I told you how to get there, the hotel and so forth. So he was supposed to meet you, and then he was supposed to go up to Maine with you to your home. It's very different if you have a sister or a nephew living in the United States that you could come and visit, that come and visit somebody you meet online, romantically.
Orlando did
So
not come here to see me. He got passport and everything to come see her nephew and her sister down Massachusetts. He come here New York for not for me, but he like to come just to meet.
You're so full of it. You're really full of shit because now you're trying to say
someone I like, and
sister and nephew. I mean, come on now.
It's no, I'm not mine. Go ahead, go be with this man.
But you're fine. The man came to see you. He had a cake and everything like that. He had a hotel. First of all, if you come in here to see your sister up in Boston, Boston is not that far from New York. You can either fly up there, right, which is maybe an hour or less, or you could take the bus, maybe like a little 4 or 5 hours.
He like to stay in a motel.
So why would you waste your time checking into a hotel in New York, which is so expensive, these hotels in New York? Why would you go through that to stay in a hotel in New York?
I like to be alone with motel.
Meet your sister and you stay with your sister or your nephew, what have you, and you don't have to worry about a hotel or anything like that. The guy came to meet you, okay? So how it's by coincidence he has a sister and nephew living in Boston. All right. Yeah. So that's different. But he came to meet you. That was his primary objective, to meet you.
He went to meet. He come. If I don't meet him anyway, he still come to New York. He always want to come see New York anyway. I did not be with him. He come to New York again, New York City with her nephew.
But listen, you tell so many lies. You said that after that, this other guy from Baltimore decided that that he's interested in a relationship. You contacted the man from Brazil, and you wanted to get back with him, and the man from Brazil told you no. He said, I don't trust you anymore because he said he came here and you never met him, you went with another man, right? You double crossed him, and he said, no, I don't trust you. I'm not going to take time to be with you anymore because I'm not going to get back to you. That's what you told me. He told you. You had a conversation with him because
He told
this
me
other
that
guy told you, no, this guy said, no, I'm not really interested in a relationship. And then when you realize how he acted up, he took you to Mexico. He didn't really care. He was taking on pictures of different women, showing you women that he had and women he had sex with, all these different beautiful women.
because
And you
I
got
like
busted
heaven.
of
I
it.
really like
And so you
heaven.
contacted the guy from Brazil, the man from Brazil, told you, no, I don't trust you. He said, if we get back in a relationship, I can never trust you anymore. That's what he
Wait,
said.
why don't you, you let me talk about my thing to you, then you talk to yourself. Let me explain to tell what happened, okay?
You told
So
me what
that
happened, and
guy,
I'm repeating what you said because you
no,
have a
you're not repeat,
the
but you keep
facts, okay?
talking. You did not let me answer the question. My question, if I really told that guy from Brazil, I told you 100 times. I don't think I mentioned to you before. He had nephew in Massachusetts. They married her nephew married to American girl here. They had 2 kids and they live in one bedroom in Massachusetts. So he don't want. He have to come visit her nephew and he want to see
What
New
does
York
that
City
have to do with
too.
you?
Yeah, and he want to see New York City too. And by the time he met me,
So that's like, what does that have
he
to do
met
with the
me
price of tea in China? You know,
and 2 years,
the
one
fact
year we
is
only know each
he
other
was
for
coming
over
through New York and he was going to meet up with you. And being that you from here, you from you live in the United States, he wanted to have somebody who is local, who speaks the local language that you happen to speak, and you could
well,
go
you're not
with him
listening
in
to
New
me.
York. That's what he was
I,
looking for. Okay, nothing wrong with New York,
if
but he
if
was.
I bring him or not, he had a family here to hang out with. Okay, he doesn't mind that I go see him or not. He's happy.
Listen, listen. He came to New York and he was going